The traders I've been talking to say they haven't seen volatility like this since 2006 when we had Katrina and Rita in the Gulf that tore up all those rigs. Remember that? This is an amazing time right now. We have so much cold weather over the lower 48, snowstorm on the East Coast today, and we still have the worst cold to come early next week, Tuesday into Wednesday of next week. If you're in the Northeast, highs won't get out of the 20s, wind chills near zero. It's going to feel like mid-January, so it's no surprise that gas has been so volatile and so up over the past week to 2 weeks or so.
And it snowed in Louisiana yesterday.
Really?
Earliest it's ever snowed there. It's not supposed to snow in Louisiana. But I kept hearing, Dan, somewhere that this winter was going to be a little warmer than normal overall. I mean, I realize that's a vague forecast that you have to have for the whole winter. But are we going to have a little warmer winter or not?
Yeah, Bill, this is the great debate right now, and this is why you saw a lot of pullback today in the price. I mean, it's just a crazy volatility right now for the traders because we're not sure where we're going to go. We've had a really cold November, but now it looks like right around Thanksgiving, beginning right around Thanksgiving or so, we're going to go through a moderation period, and it could actually turn quite mild for the following week or so. The question is this a new pattern, a new mild pattern that continues into December, or do we flip back to the really cold pattern? Now, we have El Nino, and normally El Nino winters, if they're strong enough, you tend to get a lot of warm weather, especially across the northern tier of the country. But to be honest, this looks a lot like 2002 and 2014 during the fall of both those years. And if you have a good memory, you'll remember both those winters, 02, 03 and 14, 15, really cold, really snowy winters in the east. So if all goes according to similar to those two analog years, then we're going to have a lot more cold and a lot more snow to go and probably a lot more volatility in the price of gas.
You know, Dan, when we're talking about this moderation pattern, whether or not it's going to be very cold, we think about the East Coast in general, the Northeast specifically, but Bill had mentioned the snow in Louisiana, and it does look, at least for today, the feels like temperature even in the South is in the 20s and the 30s, which is highly unusual. So when we're talking about colder winters or warmer winters, are we talking across the country or specifically in the Northeast?
Your prime consuming region for energy is across the Midwest, South, and East Coast. So when we're talking about, as forecasters, we're really looking for that area to get really cold. That's what drives a lot of the demand. Sure, you get some demand in the West, but typically all your strongest demand is in the East, especially in the Northeast with regards to heating oil, but across the Midwest and South with natural gas. So that's why we've seen this extreme volatility. You mentioned snow all the way to Louisiana. That's extremely rare for this time of year, so it's no surprise that gas has been up so much over the past week or so.